Good afternoon. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm Stacy Spivey with Lauren Coleman, Eric Chilton, and Monique Robinson.
Welcome to the 4 to 5, whether you're watching at home, on air, on the WFMY News 2 app, Fire Stick, or Roku.
It's happening again. Canceled flights for multiple reasons, including a staff shortage and weather troubles. American Airlines canceled more than 1,800 flights between Friday and today.
Hundreds of those were from Charlotte Douglas International Airport. 4 were from PTI.
WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe takes a closer look at the cancellations and its impact.
Halloween weekend was downright scary if you were traveling American Airlines.
We just got canceled on us. We don't know what to do.
Thousands of passengers around the country were lined up at kiosks or waiting by their phones for answers as the nation's largest airline carrier canceled hundreds of flights due to staffing shortages.
Our flight from Philly to Fort Lauderdale was delayed twice and then ultimately canceled.
The cause? Last week's weather problem. High winds shut down runways at America's biggest hub at Dallas-Fort Worth, so crews could not get into position for other flights days later. Travel expert Johnny Jett weighed in.
I just think the airlines need to be less aggressive in their scheduling. They're just trying to fly as many places as they can, and then when there are problems, things go really bad fast.
At the least, though, the passengers on the canceled flights, they weren't sitting around in the airport stuck hungry. You see, the airline actually gave them a voucher, food vouchers, to all those people on the canceled flights. It's a small consolation for the troubles, but Triad travel agents say legally, the airline didn't even have to do that because the flights scheduled were changed because of weather.
What people don't realize is that, unfortunately, in the small, tiny print of every single airline ticket that you purchase, it says they have the right to change your itinerary. So, it kind of leaves you bound at their mercy.
So if you ever find yourself with a canceled flight, the travel agent says, whip out that phone, but don't call customer service. Try the airline app first. It is the fastest way to make changes, and you want to be fast before other people grab up all the open seats on other flights.
The Guilford County Board of Commissioners will hold a special meeting tomorrow to discuss COVID trends. Board Chair Skip Alston says the indoor mask mandate will not be the focus of the meeting, but will likely be part of the conversation. Representatives with Cone Health, County Emergency Services, and the Guilford County Health Director are expected to attend the meeting to answer board member questions about trends, vaccines, and testing data. Alston explained no votes will take place at tomorrow's meeting, which is scheduled for 6:30. The meeting comes as the county's coronavirus numbers continue to improve. Hospitalizations, for example, are down to 41. You can see it highlighted there. Here's another way to look at this number. A week ago, it was at 63. A month ago, 129. For some comparison, at the beginning of July, this number was just at 8. The gaps are the days the county doesn't report this number typically over the weekend.
Also happening tomorrow, a CDC advisory committee is expected to meet to discuss Pfizer's vaccine for kids aged 5 to 11. Now, last week, the FDA approved the vaccine for children. If Pfizer's vaccine is approved by the CDC, the Triad expects a shipment of 10,000 doses for children. 3,300 will go to Guilford County.
Well, did you enjoy the weather today, or are you still enjoying it? If you're right in the heart of the sunshine, it feels good. When you venture off into the shade, it gets pretty chilly. But overall, the temperatures for today have been in a mix of 60s, some spots slightly warmer. Burlington reached a high of 68 as of this 4 p.m. hour, 66 the highest in Greensboro. When we look outside, specifically at the UNC Greensboro Skycam that we have, we can't see a cloud, and that's because there's very few, if any at all, in our skies across the Triad. But as we move through the course of this upcoming week, we will start to see clouds build into our skies, and some of which will spit out some rainfall. So our radar as of now completely dry across the board, but when we widen out our view, we start to see some shower and storm activity developing well to the west of us. That's what I'm going to be keeping a close eye on as we go over the next couple of days to see what here at home in the Triad we need to keep an eye out for. The clouds will be the first indication of what potential shower activity we can see towards the middle and latter part of the week. The setup is going to be changing significantly, so a cold front made its way through earlier today, bringing in cooler air. We won't necessarily feel the real chill until Wednesday when that high pressure settles in. I'll have more details on the forecast coming up.
Monique, thank you. Guilford County Schools is bringing back its learning hubs for high schools. The program proved to be successful in helping students who fell behind during remote learning last year. Students who achieve 80% of their individual attendance goal will be eligible for a $200 stipend. As of last Monday, nearly 1,900 students signed up for these hubs. Learning hubs will operate after school from 4:30 to 6 p.m. There will be weekend options and transportation will be provided.
Keeping up with grades in high school is already stressful enough, which is why mental health wellness during teen years is so crucial. So much so, pediatricians say the mental health crisis among kids has become a national emergency. A youth program in Guilford County is partnering with area schools and organizations to get students the resources they need.
Creating an open and positive environment for students is a priority for Teens Gotta Talk. The 12-week program founded by Mental Health Greensboro is designed to address mental health issues that are specific to teens.
The program was created because of the gap in resources for teenagers. A lot of mental health services are there for adults and smaller children.
Reports show suicide is the second leading cause of death among teens aged 15 to 19 in the U.S. The peer support program focuses on three main points: stress management, self-esteem, and suicide prevention.
We want to make sure that they know that they're not the only ones going through something. Because when they connect with other people, they can learn how someone else copes with it versus how they cope with it.
Teens Gotta Talk is currently implemented as an after-school support group at Northwest Guilford High School. Student Eleanor Long says the program started over Zoom last year.
Being a teenager is so intense, and so you have all of these factors in your life. You have school, you have how your home life as well. Being part of TGT has really opened my eyes to, wow, I'm really stressed a lot more than I really am really aware of it.
Now meeting in person, she hopes the program expands to more schools in the near future.
But I think it really allows students to really open up about their mental health, especially since, you know, with COVID, we were really isolated. And so having that open discussion really brought attention to how our mental health changes, especially in our teenage years and going into adult years.
Once students finish the program, they qualify for a nationally recognized suicide gatekeeper training. Mental Health Greensboro says it looks forward to expanding its program with other local schools and organizations.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools taking steps to care for the community's mental health. Board members voted to make November 12th a day off for students and staff. It will be a day to focus on mental health with an emphasis on kindness, community, and connection. I think it's so great that that school is doing this, that there is more talk about mental health, especially for teenagers. I mean, we all remember that time is so hard, and I cannot imagine with social media how much worse it probably is.
Social media, being in sports, just dealing with kids in general. I think certain stressors that we go through, we start to normalize it. And I think having these conversations or having programs like this makes you think, hey, this is not normal, or maybe I need to talk to somebody about this.
I think the key too is to not feel alone. That isolation is the absolute worst thing for any type of depression or self-esteem issues. And I love that they connect like that. All it takes is one person to identify with you and to have that conversation. And to me, it opens up your world a little bit. You don't feel like, hey, I'm not the only one.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about mental health with students, but I mean, even as adults, I go to a therapist even now at my big age. I think it's really important that we continue to have spaces where we can have open conversations and open dialogue to talk about the things that weigh on our shoulders day in and day out.
I always say if someone says they don't need any therapy, they're not being honest.
Absolutely.
I don't believe a human on this planet doesn't have a reason that they might want to talk to somebody about something. You know?
I think everybody should do therapy. I see a therapist occasionally. I do it virtually now, and sometimes you just need that outside perspective.
Yeah.
Sometimes your family members and your friends aren't the best person to talk to. You just need that free space where there's no judgment to just help sort through your thoughts.
To be able to just vent to somebody that's not closer
Directly
to you.
connected,
Yeah, because sometimes people don't want want to hear you vent. And this person's paid too, so might as well.
Right.
So they're there to listen.
So true, so true. All right, talk to us on Facebook during the break. We'll be right back.
Hi, Nighthawks. Governor Roy Cooper here. Happy Kids Voting Week.
Boy, how cool is it to get a personal message from the governor? You know, as parents, we want our kids to understand the importance of voting, but imagine the impact for an elementary school kid when they get this personal message from the governor to their school. That's exactly what happened at Northern Guilford Elementary School today.
I can't tell you how excited I got as, you know, the biggest kid in this building. That's what I like to call myself. I felt like I was one of the students here and he was talking directly to me. You know, one of our amazing parents with our PTA, you know, was able to get this for us. And it just really, you know, it meant a lot to not only be, you know, Governor Cooper saying it, but really for, you know, our 600 plus population to know that he was talking directly to us, to the kids at Northern. It's just priceless.
The governor's message encouraged kids to vote for their elementary school's Kids Voting Day with that hope that that sense of civic responsibility will carry on into adulthood.
Remember, when we're talking about democracy, we're talking about voting. And, you know, while most people get really excited for, you know, the years that we have major presidential elections, like we want our kids here to know that any election is important. And so they are actually voting this year as kids voting. They are voting on what the assistant principal and I will wear as costumes as the closer we get to the holidays. I think one of the options is Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Another option are 2 reindeers. We like to dress up every year just to have fun. And but you know, it's giving them a voice and showing them that, you know, hey, they are going to get to decide something here at the school.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, he said, Dr. Richmond said to me, he goes, you know, we just want them to feel like they're a part of something, and they have to understand the power of their vote. And that's something they would see the results of. You know, when kids talk about, they don't know enough about politics yet and money issues and all that. He said, so we let them vote on things that actually they can change around the school, and then they understand the importance of voting.
I love
Isn't
that.
cool?
I remember when I was in elementary and high school during like the presidential elections, we would do like a mock election, but it was for the actual candidates that were running, but there was always this sense of pride when you felt the person you voted for won when they announced it at the end of the day.
Yeah, we did something similar. I just think it's great that they are trying to associate, voting with fun, and that you should do it and you should want to do it. And I think that's great to instill in kids when they're little, so that when they grow up to be adults, that they continue voting.
I think they might have opened up Pandora's box for Governor Cooper, because can you imagine if any other elementary schools see this, like, wait a minute.
Hey, he didn't come to our school. I mean,
that too.
but how special is that?
Yeah,
It's really
he
cool.
said,
The governor taught us.
he said the kids like gasped whenever he said, "Hi, Nighthawks," because it wasn't just a recorded message for anybody. That's pretty good.
Absolutely exciting. Well, Election Day is Tuesday, November 2nd. It's your chance to vote for your leader at the local level. Elections for Greensboro City Council and Greensboro Mayor have been scheduled to 2022. A full list of elections can be found on our website, WFNYnews2.com. We'll be right back after this break.
Well, I want to say and really preface this week's forecast is extremely difficult as a meteorologist, and I'm going to really break down why. We do have some small rain chances throughout this week, but that's primarily because we're expecting a lot of cloud cover, and some of those thick clouds may produce some showers and some may just hold tight to them. And so as we go through your Wednesday, expecting abundant cloud cover, but a lot of times the cloud cover we'll see throughout the day on Wednesday will not produce any rainfall. However, on Thursday, showing a greater likelihood of that, and then some lingering into your Friday. So here's a look at one particular guesstimate or model that we use as meteorologists to kind of show us what the weather forecast is, particularly talking about rain chances are over the next couple of days. So staying dry for mostly through Wednesday. Like I said, some of that cloud cover, which we're not seeing on this graphic here, will produce some spurts and spurts of showers. Thursday, however, that's when we can get the greater likelihood of some shower activity. Things on Friday much drier, and you can see on Saturday a lot of that moisture staying well offshore, and into the weekend things change up a bit, the overall weather pattern. When we talk about how much rainfall we'll get, I know that's a big question a lot of folks have. Well, if you have a cloud that just spurting out a little bit of rainfall, you might not get that much measurable rainfall. rainfall. So as you can see, through Saturday afternoon, from now all the way through Saturday around lunchtime, there isn't a lot of rainfall totals on here because of some of those light drizzles will not pick up a lot of rainfall. Haven't shown the 7-day yet, but here you have it. And look, it's going to be a chilly next several days. 49 for the high on Thursday. It's time to bring out the winter coats.
Are you feeling the Halloween hangover, the trick-or-treating, the parties, and the candy? So much candy, right? And if we're not careful, all that sugar intake can really come back to haunt us. Dr. Robert Young with Brassfield Cosmetic and Family Dental Center says, yes, sweets can be bad for your teeth, but it's not realistic to say don't eat it. He says a couple of nights of candy is okay. Just let your kids enjoy it, but a couple of weeks of candy, bad idea. The trick to enjoying the treats without any trips to the dentist office is brushing and flossing as soon as you're done enjoying all that candy corn.
Well, the longer the sugar sits on your teeth, the longer you're making cavities. So the best bet is go ahead and eat it, but then floss and brush to get the sugar washed back off your teeth before you start doing a lot of damage.
Dr. Young says candy or not, follow the homework assignment he gives all of his patients. Brush twice a day, preferably with an electric toothbrush. Floss twice a day and use mouthwash twice a day. It's also recommended to see a dentist every 6 months, something many people actually didn't do during the height of the pandemic.
There was a while there where we really did have a lot of people that were nervous about coming out, but it seems like things have kind of gotten a lot more back to normal.
Yeah, we were just talking the flossing part. Yeah. That's what gets me.
That is difficult to do.
The hygienist that I go to, she goes, this is the funniest thing one day. She's telling me, she goes, oh, I see you flossed today, and I didn't. I said, no. And then she goes, really? I said, yes. And then she goes, usually it's the other way around. She goes, when you tell me you flossed, I know when you did not floss, and she knows right away. Yeah. So funny. But
they know. They can tell by the plaque buildup. And y'all, I mean, I don't know why. I think it's genetic that I get cavities so easily. But I also love sweets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is not fun.
My parents, when we were younger, when we would go trick-or-treating, they would take our candy and they would hide it. And then we would only get like 1 or 2 pieces a day. And I remember just always on the hunt, like, where is that candy at? But to help with situations like this, so we wouldn't have like all the cavities.
Yeah, well, he said, you know, eat it. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have all these sweets. Just brush and floss right after.
Yeah. Floss twice a day.
So, no, I looked at Laura twice a day.
I wonder how many people are actually flossing twice a day.
It's not me. I should be.
Well, he said if people actually followed this homework assignment he gave, then he would be bored.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't have any business.
They wouldn't be able to make money. Yeah, make money.
All right, we're coming right back. Stay there.
If you are facing any type of discouragement, today on U Day, Coach Lamont helps us to tap into that inner treasure of encouragement found in us all.
One of the things that I've discovered that so many of us are walking through is this one word, and it's called discouragement. Now, the enemy to discouragement is encouragement. Encouragement means that you are pumped, you are ready, and you can take life by its horns and win. But when discouragement steps in, that is your way of telling your life you don't have the courage to continue on. Whatever you are feeling right now, just know that these feelings are passing. This is your moment right now to encourage yourself to get back in the game and remind yourself of just who you are. You are a champion. You were created for such a time as this. This is your opportunity to win. So why allow discouragement to get into the place that encouragement is supposed to live? This is Coach reminding you, have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Coach Lamont with another great word. Y'all see him rocking the goatee now?
I liked it. I like the fall sweater too.
He just makes you, honestly, his voice, when I hear him now, I'm just like, just like relax. He's got a little sweater on.
It's crazy. Every time I feel like we watch one of these, it's something that's so relevant in my life. Like today I was feeling really discouraged about something, and so I needed to hear it.
I needed to hear it too. He takes us to church every day.
That's exactly
what I was thinking.
I mean, because sometimes I get in those moments where I feel like I just hit that wall and I'm just like, I'm putting in all this work, I'm doing X, Y, Z, and nothing feels like it's changing, and you start to feel overwhelmed. But sometimes you got to reassess and realize your situation is just temporary and you will get through it.
Yeah, I love how he said you were made for a time like this, because oftentimes we feel like we have solutions or we may have great ideas and we feel, hey, can I really do it? But your creativity, your visions, the things that you're thinking in your mind, the world needs that. And so he is right. This is your winning season, and you should speak word over yourself and encourage yourself to say, I am meant to be here. Like we all are meant to be here. We're serving a greater purpose.
Yes.
Now listen to how deep all of it. Here's the deal. This is the difference in men and women. Women are deep like an Olympic-sized pool, and men are the kiddie pool. Because I'm looking at all this, and I'm sitting here listening to all these deep thoughts, and I'm just like, he sounds happy to me. That's what I said.
That's why we're here, Eric, to balance it out.
Okay, well, I'll work on my depth for the next half hour. We're coming back. Stay there.
Hello, friendy friend. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman, Stacy Spivey, and Monique Robinson.
Yeah, welcome to all of you watching the 4 to 5 right here on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet. And we want to go ahead and get into your 4 to 5 roundup. 2 young men are dead after a shooting this weekend in Greensboro. One was a North Carolina A&T student. Police say 19-year-old DeLorean Smith and 20-year-old Quashawn Tyson died in a shooting near the intersection of Bryce and Warren Streets Saturday. North Carolina A&T representatives say Tyson was a current student and Smith was a former student. If you know anything about these shootings, you can call Crime Stoppers at 336-373-1000. A majority of the Supreme Court said they would allow abortion providers to pursue a court challenge against a Texas law banning abortions 6 weeks into a pregnancy. The focus of today's argument centered around who can be sued to challenge the law, not the abortion aspect of the law. The Texas law bans abortions as soon as a heartbeat is detected. Instead of state officials enforcing the law, private citizens can file civil suits. Violators could face at least $10,000 in penalties. Actor Alec Baldwin spoke publicly for the first time since the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on the set of his new movie Rust. Investigators say a live bullet in a prop gun shot by Baldwin killed Helena Hutchins while filming the movie. Baldwin said he's not allowed to comment on the investigation, but did say he's kept in contact with Hutchins' husband and their son.
She was my friend. She was my friend. The day I arrived in Santa Fe to start shooting, I took her to dinner. The guy is overwhelmed with me. We are, in constant contact with him because we're very worried about his family and his kid.
Production for the movie is on hold for now. Baldwin says he doubts production will resume. The Panthers found their rhythm once again. Carolina crushed the Falcons in yesterday's game against Atlanta. Quarterback Sam Darnold left the game in the fourth quarter after being ruled out with a concussion. Coach Matt Rule said he reviewed the win against the Saints to look at what worked for the Panthers at their 3-0 start. He also reviewed the video with QB Sam Darnold Wednesday morning before the game, and the Panthers beat the Falcons 19-13. I know a lot of people are pumped about that. I mean, it was kind of, getting a little sad there. So Panthers pulled out a win.
They needed this boost of motivation.
They did.
It's been kind of rough.
I'm telling you, it's not, this isn't over yet because I think they're struggling. Even with this win, I still think they're struggling. And I will tell you that hit on Darnold when he got, well, he didn't get knocked out. He looked like it knocked his helmet off.
Ooh. Oh, that's
And as he
bad
was
hit.
falling down, he had to pull his helmet back on, and then they were helping him to stand up. And I thought he was really hurt. He may still be. They got to do that concussion protocol, but this is a time for Walker to step up and maybe fill in for Darnold, because I'm not so sure where Darnold is in his career, how he's doing, whether it's up or down.
Yeah.
Congrats to them.
We'll see. Yeah. All right, fingers crossed that the winning streak continues, of course, as WFMY News 2 gives Panthers fans a chance to win 2 tickets on 2. We have tickets up for grabs, for 4 upcoming games.
First, go to WFMYnews2.com. On the homepage, you'll see the story that says Play and Score Carolina Panthers tickets on WFMY News 2. Click on that story. Once you're in, click on the hyperlink that says Play 2 tickets on 2 trivia here. There are 5 Panthers trivia questions. This week, play our Panthers trivia and you're entered to win a pair of tickets to see Carolina host the New England Patriots on November 7th.
You have until 6:30 this evening to log on and play. What's nice? You can play as many times as you like. The more you play, the better your chances are to win.
All right, once trivia closes, you'll need to watch WFMY News 2 at 11 tonight to see who wins. By the way, this is just the first of 4 ticket giveaways. You have more chances to win. Log on to WFMYnews2.com and play Panthers Trivia. That's your chance, of course, to win 2 tickets on 2. And don't worry, if you don't win tickets for this Sunday's game, you can still watch it. It's right here on WFMY News 2, home of the Carolina Panthers.
Greensboro firefighters spent part of today giving out coats to students at Washington Montessori. The coat distribution was part of Operation Warm, giving a brand new coat to roughly 200 students in need. A member of Professional Firefighters of Greensboro says when they go out on calls, they notice a number of kids without warm coats or clothing in the colder months.
We generally are in these homes or in these streets in traumatic and dramatic incidences, and we recognize these needs, and we wanted to be able to come back and help provide something for these children that would otherwise go through the winter maybe without a warm coat.
This is the 5th year firefighters have participated in the program.
Alrighty then, so we have already reached the peak of the day when we talk about how warm it will get. So from here on out, the temperatures are going to fall. But as we go throughout the course of this week, they're going to fall near some numbers that are kind of around that freezing point. I mean, especially if you're in the mountains. I mean, I hope you already have the jacket out. Here's a look at the temperatures as of now. We go throughout this evening, like I said, they're going to fall right around some upper 40s in a lot of locations, kind of riding around those, even mid to low 40s in some areas as well. And then as we start out your Tuesday, so when you're waking up early in the morning, whether you wake up 8, 9 a.m., you're still on the chilly side of things. Around lunchtime, I mean, it's still not that warm. An upper 50, that still in my book requires a jacket or a long sleeve shirt. And as we transition into your Wednesday, this is 10 a.m. This isn't, 6 a.m., 5 a.m. when you're likely still waking up. This is 10 a.m. when you're more than likely already out the door and heading to work. We're seeing numbers still in the 40s. And I know you see these 30s on there. This is the afternoon on Thursday. It is going to be a chilly next couple of days. Let's look at the temperature trend over those next couple of days. 30s are in the forecast. We're bracing for the winter season. I know we're in the start of November, but the cold weather is just right around the corner. More details on the full forecast as well as what's going on in the tropics coming up.
With all the scary Halloween movies you've been watching lately, have you noticed you're having more bad dreams? Oddly enough, nightmares may actually be a good thing. Dream experts say our brains help sort out the day's events with anxieties while we're asleep. And this got us talking about recurring nightmares. So I asked you on my Facebook page if you have any recurring nightmares. Sharon says she dreams deputies show up and arrest me. They won't let me lock the doors or take my purse or cell phone. No one knows where I am. Jim writes, I have a dream of a big 2-story house in the country. I've never been there, but why do I keep dreaming about it? That's kind of strange. Freddie says, I'm a trucker. I've had a dream for at least 20 years of crashing and being trapped in my cab. Then the truck catches fire and no one can save me. They just watch me burn. That is absolutely terrifying. And Marcia always has a nightmare that her wallet and cell phone are being stolen. Now guys, I've had the same recurring nightmare for years that I'm back in high school and I go to either a football game or a basketball game and I'm in the wrong cheerleading uniform. And I blame my high school coach, Miss Hilburn, because I was always paranoid that was going to happen to me. Still to this day, apparently.
I have a school-related dream too. Like, I had this dream like multiple times that I was enrolled into a class and I didn't realize it until it was time to take the test. Yes. And I wasn't prepared for the final. And I keep having this dream like every other year. So I don't know what it's trying to tell me. Maybe I'm afraid of failing.
No, that's the same thing I have, except it's with work. It's here. And sometimes I'm at other stations, like I see people from my old station and then some people from here, and they're all saying, you got to do the weather in another 2 minutes, and I'm like wearing shorts and t-shirts. I've had that over and over before.
I feel like after hearing those Facebook posts, I just wanted to say like a prayer for some of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe we need a Coach Lamont to say something after that. I was just like, that was really deep.
That was heavy.
Yeah, very scary. Well, let us know if you've had a recurring nightmare. Weigh in on Facebook.
All right, take a look. What is your TV screen size of choice? There's option 1, there's option 2, there's option 3 there. All right, so the size could depend on the room that the TV's in and of course what you're watching on TV. But if you had a choice of these 3, which one are you picking?
Biggest.
Those.
Right.
2.
Numero 2.
Okay, the biggest one. I mean, I think that is like a normal thing. Although I'm like, in some rooms I'm kind of like, I don't care. But that is a dude thing, don't you think?
It is, yep.
I mean, not to typecast or anything, but TVs are a staple during Black Friday. But what if I told you this year you have a better excuse of getting a bigger TV? Yes. Not a problem for you, right, Chelsea?
Nope. Tell me how.
Now, do you care?
I do care. Depending on, like, I actually want a new TV for my living room, so I can move that TV into my bedroom.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what's happening this year and why.
Prices on TVs have gone up a bit this year, so the discounts won't be as big as you might expect around Black Friday. we're going to see the best deals around larger TVs, that's 65-inch TVs and bigger.
The Consumer Reports top pick is the Samsung 75-inch QLED 4K Smart TV. It's now $1,900 at Best Buy. Consumer Reports says this entire line of Samsung TVs has excellent color accuracy, superior deep black levels, and a wide viewing angle. One of the Best Buys this November that you can put away for Christmas are the JLab JBuds Air True wireless earbuds. They're half off at Amazon and Target, and these earbuds scored comparatively with higher-end brands and even outperforms some expensive models for sound quality. One less tech buy to tell you about: the Lenovo Duet Chromebook tablet. It's on sale for $249 at Amazon. This Chromebook tablet is one of their top picks for kids because of its parental controls. And if you're usually a December-only Christmas shopper, Consumer Reports says you're going to want to change that strategy this year.
The most important thing to think about this month is to shop early. The earlier you shop, the more options you're going to have. And if you shop earlier, you'll have less worry about shipping delays.
Yeah, we've heard that for sure. Now, Eric, did you pay attention to that TV? Because it's almost $1,000 off.
I just about went to get my phone to see how to get it, because that's the one that I wanted, the OLED
75.
Yeah.
Biggin. That's a biggin. All right.
biggin.
So here's my question. When you go shopping, do you go like with a list of people and things that you think, or do you go and hope that inspiration just hits you?
I'm an inspiration person. Now, when it comes to grocery shopping, I do have a list, but like gifts
Christmas
and stuff,
shopping, yeah.
Christmas shopping and stuff, I'm just like, I think my mom will like that. I think my dad will like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's a little bit of both for me, but especially if I'm shopping for the kids, I have to know what they want. But if I'm shopping for my wife, it is kind of a let me just see what comes along if she hadn't told me anything. Mix. It's a mix.
Has she been happy with those gifts?
To my face? Yes.
That is a fantastic question.
To my face. Yes.
Those of you at home can talk about that too, about how the spouses and whether you're happy with those gifts. All right, just a reminder, there's 7 more Fridays before Christmas Eve. Woo!
I'm in trouble.
I'm not ready.
Welcome back. Well, you may have seen our story recently about a llama on the loose in High Point, but there's a new twist in LLAMA-gate. I spoke with Officer Holly Lackey about the saga. So let's begin with how this all got started last week.
It was a first for me. I've been in animal control almost 12 years, and we had already heard that the llama was running loose in the city because we had gotten a call on Monday for a bolo about it running down Lexington Avenue. Just kind of be on the lookout for it. One of my other partners had watched a video about how to capture a llama. It was told that if you walk up slowly and have enough people, you can kind of encircle them and they'll just stand there. So we all just kind of circled in, and I held the stick up to keep him from going between the trees, and then everybody just jumped in.
So they captured him and loaded him onto a trailer, took him away, but guess what? He's on the loose again.
It was taken to Red Dog Farm, where it was going to remain for the stray hold for the owners to come. I was actually told that he escaped from there as well. So he's on the loose again in Stokesdale.
All right, so this is so funny. She said the day that they got him, finally, because neighbors were calling, we spotted him here, we spotted him there, and they finally got him. The neighbors were feeding him apples to get him to stay until they could get there to capture him. They got him in the trailer. She said it was literally the same day he jumped a fence or something, they think, at Red Dog Farm where they took him. Now he's running around Stokesdale somewhere.
Can you imagine?
I know, seeing him just roll up in the house.
It's just so random. Like, you're used to seeing deer walk by, but imagine walking home from the school bus and like, you're like, was that a llama?
She said, I've been on the force 12 years. I've never had anything like this happen. And she said, they even named him. They call him Todd. So Todd is on the loose and stuff.
Anybody see Todd?
Todd is bringing all the llama drama to the triads.
True. We were calling all around today trying to find out where,
where'd he come from?
Nobody knows. And she said, maybe the owner doesn't want him back because he keeps jumping fences like he's your problem.
I wonder how high they can jump, because I asked you earlier, I was like, is he getting like out of his like leash or something? And you said he's just jumping super high.
They think he jumped fences because they can't figure out how he's getting out.
He's probably just walking right out, like finding a way.
What if he's like smart enough to go under and step over?
Well, if you see him, call the officials.
If you see Todd, you let the Stokesdale Police Department
Apparently,
know.
feed him apples. He might
That's
stay.
Right.
Yeah.
He might hang out.
He'll be friendly.
Goodness gracious. Well, Guilford County Animal Services is not opening its new facility today to the public. The group posted on their Facebook page saying staff needs time to prepare for adoption appointments this week. Guilford County Animal Services is opening, or they have opened, a new 33,000 square foot facility located on Guilford College Road. That new location can hold up to 550 dogs and cats and includes 6 dog adoption areas and 2 for cats. The new shelter will open to the public this Wednesday at 1. We'll be right back.
So, you know, today is National Authors Day, a day to celebrate those wordsmiths that weave the stories that we all love. So I asked you on Facebook, tell me some of your favorite authors and why. Claire started out, said I have a few: Julie Garwood, Judith McNaught, and Johanna Lindsay, great romance writers there. Chris Murray says Nelson DeMille, go read his stuff and you will know why I love him. Vera said Mary Alice Monroe, many of her novels deal with environmental issues with a little romance, and most of her stories are written about the Carolina Lowcountry. Melissa Dunn says Colleen Hoover and Marie Force. Marie's Gansett Island series is absolutely awesome. Both great romance novelists. And Marilyn says Fern Michaels, love her, especially the Sisterhood series. Really like James Patterson too. Kelly says James Patterson because I love to see solve those mysteries with him. I am not a super avid reader, but I do. And for me, growing up, it was a lot of Stephen King, because I liked his stuff. Because he's a good writer, not just gory horror movies. It's really, if you read his stuff, it's pretty deep.
So you were the Spark Notes kid.
Yeah. Oh yes. Cliff Notes in my day. Yes, did that a lot.
Not really a specific author, but I like autobiographies. I really like realistic fiction, self-help books. I'm reading a book right now that I borrowed from Monique a couple months ago that I need to give back to her, called Woman Evolve, and it's about self-worth by Sarah Jakes Roberts, and it's really good.
Yeah, I just like to read self-help things. I like to read things that are encouraging. But I don't want to say I have a favorite author, but when I was listening to this, it kind of reminded me of, there's this restaurant down in Wilmington that's made after Edgar Allan Poe. So in the restaurant, on the walls, they actually have texts from his books. If you go in the bathroom, really nice. They have like all these different pieces. All of the food items in the restaurant are like named after the books and things like that.
I love that. That's really cool. Yeah, I was trying to think of my favorite author. I don't think I have a particular favorite one. I do love to read, but I don't just like pick one author and read their books. But probably the most books I've read from a single author would be J.K. Rowling, just because I love the Harry Potter series.
Classic.
And I have to give a shout out to not James. Oh my gosh, I just went blank on his name. Grisham.
Well, John Grisham.
John Grisham, because he's from my home state of Arkansas.
Oh,
and my
that's
parents love his books, so I guess I could pick that.
And he lives in Chapel, or he has a house in Chapel Hill.
Oh, does he?
Yes,
okay.
He does. So
North Carolina and Arkansas ties.
Nice. Right. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. Monique, what do we have?
Well, jumping right into things and talking about weather, it's still pretty chilly outside right now, but we have those mostly clear skies, and you can see the sunshine is not really, you can't really see the sun, but you can overall see that it is a bright day out there. This is a look at Wake Forest. And as we look at the temperatures across the area, we're in the same fields as those in South Carolina. They're just slightly warmer than us here at home. They're in a mix of 70s. We're in some 60s. 66 right now in the Triad, 58 in Boone. And here's, again, a look at how that setup is going to be changing. Slowly but surely, that cool air is going to be filling in across our area and cooling us down for certain. We're all going to feel it on Wednesday and even on Thursday. And I said earlier, I just want to talk very briefly about the tropics. There is nothing in the tropics as of now that is a concern for the U.S. We do have 2 areas of disturbance with a very low chance of development. I think at 10% over the next 5 days. And then if you may hear talks of Wanda, that system is well away from us, but help to end out this official list of names.
Or you could just have another party.
Or I could just make it for you.
Yeah.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey.
It's a good movie.
You know, that doesn't really qualify. Hey there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever.
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South.
One, two, three.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm going to talk about my generation, Gen X. These are people that were born anywhere from the mid-1960s to the early 80s. And I found something online I thought was pretty interesting, and I'm sure millennials who are next in line will probably have their list one day, but here we go. See if you remember this if you're in the Gen X world. We were the last generation to know a world without cell phones. Remember when you had to carry the phone around with a long cord, or maybe if you're lucky, you had one of those twisty cords that went across 2 rooms. That was phenomenal. We're the last ones to remember a world without internet, without cable TV. I remember growing up in the Triad when there was only 2, 4, 8, and 12. That's it. And then a little fuzzy, snowy channel down in the 30s or 40s. I can't even remember what that one was, something out of Charlotte. We're the last generation to remember 2 keys for your car, one for the door and one to start the car. We were the last generation also that didn't have to wear seat belts. I was talking with one of our photographers today and our management team who said, don't you remember when there was a bench seat in the front and you would stand up in the back and lean over the seat like this and watch where mom and dad were driving. I even remember on long trips lying down in the back seat and drawing while we go to the beach. That's it, Gen Xers. Be proud. Hey, at least our music is still trending online, which is pretty cool. And that's just my 2 cents. So that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5.